What's going on, YouTube? William Barry here, coming at you live from the heart of the internet, dude. So that's right, dude. We taking Boogie's thing and we adjusting it. Hey, man. So for those of you that don't know, I spend a lot of time on Suno because I'm writing songs, doing my thing. I still do my YouTube shit nonstop. You know, I love my shit over here on YouTube. But now I spend a little time on Suno as well. And, you know, so I'm trying to help uplift Suno artists. And I got a buddy of mine named Persuasive Pro. And he's a pretty nice, pretty nice cat, I like a lot of his stuff. He likes a lot of my stuff. We go back and forth. He made a song with another artist called Love, who I was unaware of mostly. I didn't realize this guy had like 15,000 followers. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're going to do a rap battle. And then I'm not going to tell you who I think won because I'm one of the people that's in it. I'll just let you guys decide on who won and who didn't. But I'm going to showcase all 4 songs. And we'll go from there, dude. Let's get right into it. All right, so this is the track that started it off, man. I had to respond to this once I started listening to it. Good track, though. I had a lot of fun. The bars are pretty good. Persuasive Pro is a really good rapper, dude. They're both like hyper-religious people, so, I disagree with that sentiment, but I can understand the pursuit of truth. So we're going to get into the song. We're going to talk about what we like, obviously talk about the things we don't like, and then go from there.
Hey, love, show him the truth.
They show him the truth.
Ain't ready. Hey. I'm a light in the world getting darker. 23 and me social genetic markers turn to fear in the prophet while they locking the doors. Mask on the masses, now they masking the motor numbers look inflated, but the narrative loaded. Bioweapon whispers in the back of my brain while they gaslight the public saying you're just insane. Yeah.
So something that you have to do with people that are heavy into conspiracy theories. I'm currently writing a paper called The Point of Reference. And in the Point of Reference paper, I talk about how flat earthers believe this thing. But so much of our knowledge is borrowed from other people. Like, it's just a matter of fact. I don't know how 90% of things work. Neither does anyone else talking. Most people, even people that are specialists, they learn things in a particular field. Most of our knowledge is borrowed. Most of us don't know how your engine works in your car. And yet, when you turn the key, typically it starts unless there's something wrong. And if there's something wrong, you spend hours on YouTube looking into theories and ideas and, diaphragms, or not diaphragms, but diagrams, or you take it to a professional and they fix it for you. You know what I mean? That's the way the world works on so many different issues. So these people, when I'm listening to their song, they're telling you the story of the perspective of a truth sayer. And there's a lot of power in that. People love to have the victim mentality. Like, they just love it. Everything works easier when there's like a grand conspiracy that you can point the finger at things and say, well, the Jews did it, or they did it. Like, it just makes things simple. But it's like not a cognitive way to think. It's low resolution thinking. It's like, well, these things kind of have some overlap, so they're clearly the same thing. It's what conspiracies theorists do. It's what they look for, a pattern somewhere, and they recognize that pattern as a matter of fact when, like, once you dive into it, half the time it's all bullshit. Like, Alex Jones got a lot of shit wrong. He got a few facts correct, but 90% of the thing he was building to was wrong. So is Joe Rogan. So is almost every conspiracy theorist. They'll talk about, like, things being a matter of fact, but they're talking about, like, Dave Smith does this. Well, there was a CIA guy one time that admitted we did this in his tell-all book. You mean the guy who's getting paid to sell you a book saying that, like, he's got something different? Of course he's going to say... In order to get so many people on the same page, how do you operate that kind of stuff? Like, there are people that don't believe we put someone on the moon. And then, like, you can watch Matt Walsh debunk that crazy claim. Like, why would Russia not openly admit that we didn't put someone on the moon? Like, of course they would want that. Why, if we have all of these flaws, why isn't China pointing them out? You know what I mean? Like, these people want this. You're just feeding into the system that creates the diversity that you're looking for. Okay, sorry, I went on to a little rant. Let's give them their chance to shine.
Yeah, I'm back with the van. Why they gaslight the public saying you're just insane. Yeah, I'm back with the van. Better embedded in rhetoric, meta with messages shredding the delicate narrative etiquette. They manufacture the madness, they manage reactions. While you busy picking sides, they just stacking transactions. Soon they will say God is an alien.
God is not an alien, he's a man-made invention. to convince people to fall in line and listen. He's an authoritative figure that teaches people to be a puppet for the religion, for the world that used to be run by those religions. The Catholic Church used to be one of the most dominant superpowers on the planet, and that was done through religious orthodoxy and dogmatic views, forcing people into simple binaries of right and wrong. And if you question the church, they burns you at the stake, bro. They killed people for doing math. That's the side you're on right now. You're not a truth sayer, dog. You're perpetuating the same system of violence that has made our country and our lives the disaster that it is. Jesus Christ.
Message is shredding the delicate narrative etiquette. They manufacture the madness, they manage reactions. While you busy picking sides, they just stacking transactions. Soon they will say, God is an alien. Took him out of the school, so he's out of your cranium. Satan using all like pawns, but I'm a knight in the dark, oh, wait in the dawn. False flag wave high, why don't you stay low? Every lone wolf story got a handler you don't know. You believe what they feed, I've been reading between all the lines.
Like, the crazy thing is, these guys, and I love my boy Persuasive. I do. He's a really good dude. He writes some fucking sick bars. He's got really good lines. You know what I mean? I just think that he's misguided on a handful of topics. But the idea that they refer them to themselves as lone wolves. Like, bro, I am out here face fucking the world without God. That's what every atheist is. They are a lone wolf in a system that is like 60% Christian dick sucks. You know what I mean? Like, that's what an atheist is. Back when atheism first like really blew up in America, back in the early 2000s, late like 90s, bro, it was like 84% of Americans were hardcore Christian fucks. I'll never understand how every Christian has like one of the biggest religions on earth, other than like, you know, the Hindu religions or Muslim religion. They'll have this like massive religion and still act like the biggest victim in the room. I don't understand. Like, dude, you control everything. And you still want to be like, we're the ones bucking the system. Bro, you're the ones who made the system. For like 30 years, religious fucking control wasn't permeated through our entire culture, man. What? Okay. Delusional. Got it.
Believe what they feed, I've been reading between all the lines getting blurred in the digital screen. 9/11 was a repeat of the Gulf of Tonkin, did it twice with the whole world watching. Got martyrs and targets regardless the cause. If you question the system, you get labeled a flaw. Character assassins with a media blade, cut you down to a headline of your legacy's play. Every scandal, a smoke screen, every leak, just a law. Speak a little too real, now they flag every line. But I double down, trouble bound, bubble now. From the ground I'm rising while they try to shut me down. I don't trust what I'm told, I decode what I see. Every enemy created just to tighten the leash. Turn a hero to a villain with a flick of the pen. Then rewrite.
They can, like, this is something that's like so hard for people to understand. Like, so I imagine me, Persuasive, and Love are probably allies in a lot of things. We actually generally want a lot of the same things. The difference is we disagree on how to get there. Like, the reason why this song is going to blow up, you know, on Suno, one, because Love has 15,000 followers, so a bunch of people are going to follow him whether they like it or not. A lot of people aren't even going to actually listen to the lyrics, because Suno isn't really about people diving into anything, unfortunately. It's mostly just like momentum building. You know, everyone's just trying to be the next big star, so if they leave something that's uncritical, everyone just likes it and loves it, and no one really engages with anything. So that's why I'm trying to change that by engaging with people's topics. Like, to actually look at the things they say and like break down what they're talking about instead of letting echo chambers form on this website. I refuse to let that happen. I watched it happen to YouTube, and I watched all of the parasocial, disgusting slop content creation, back and forth, backstabbing bullshit. Okay, I'm not going to let that happen on Suno as much as I can try. Now, I'm just one person, and I can't change the thing by myself. That's just the truth, okay? You know, especially when I'm going up against a bigger creator, right? Like, that's just the way that is, okay? If I go punching upward, I'm going to lose on the optics look no matter what. But I don't give a fuck about optics. I never have. And these guys don't claim to care about optics either. But I guarantee you they're going to cling to their likes on this song. I guarantee you. I will bet money on it. But something that we have to admit, and the thing that they're really, the core tension that they're working towards, is they're talking about how the system feels oppressive. Because all systems intrinsically are oppressive. It doesn't matter what school of thought you come from. Every system is a form of force. That's the hard, brute fact of reality. Every system comes with laws, paradigms that you can play within, and a ballpark with rules, okay? These things are still force. All laws are a form of force. At the end of the day, as much as I am a liberal, I know that the world is held up by might is right. Now, the mighty in this situation created liberalism and created a community for the people to question the authority above them. That was done by the people that won our country. We did that on the backs of revolution, okay? We built that system up, and then we forced everyone in our country to agree with it. This is the liberal framework in which we built our society off of. Well, liberalism, right? Based off of Enlightenment era principles, which is a rejection of Christianity, though it was infused with Christianity, like systems of thought, which permeated from like ancient Greece when they absorbed versions of Christianity into their version of Catholicism that they used to justify the Crusades. Okay, all of this stuff is true. Okay, you can look it all up from all of the Stoics of like way back in the time, from ancient Greek and Rome to the Catholic Church becoming the bludgeoning superpower, and then persecuting religious holy wars around the globe, to our modern America built off of from deists that wrote the Constitution and our Declaration of Independence. Okay, we formed all of these things, but they're not wrong when they talk about these being a form of control. And many of us placate that form of control, and we sit in that comfort without dealing with some of the hard-born facts. There's a line in here about like how we deserve 9/11. That's something like Hassan used to say. That's not entirely what the guy said here, but more or less, 9/11 is a byproduct from our allyship with Israel. Now, we have an allyship with Israel because no matter what you think about Israel, they are a democracy around the globe in the Middle East, and they have made peaceful resolutions with numerous Arab nations. The stuff with Palestine is a very messy, hard thing to get through. But I've done the research, and I've done the time, and if you want, we can have that debate. And I will debate any of you in the fucking face on camera, because I don't hide behind icons, okay? I will have that debate right now with any of you. I actually know quite a bit of facts on this particular subject, okay? So if you want to have that conversation, we can have it. But I am trying to say that you calling truth to power is good. It's just when you start latching on to all the crazy conspiracy things and start notating yourself as like a truth sayer when you're not. The difference between me and the two of you is I'm a fucking fool. I know that I'm a fool. I'm not preaching to people on how to be better. I'm preaching to people to be themselves. That's the difference here, homie. All right.
What I see, every enemy created just to tighten the leash, turn a hero to a villain with a flick of the pen. Then rewrite the whole story when it benefits them. I'm aggressive with the message, every syllable stings like a whistleblower scream through the system. It rings. If I vanish, just know I was close to the truth. Too loud for the silence, too raw for the boost. So I weaponize words, let them cut like a blade. If the word is a stage, then I'm breaking the play, dividing, conquer red and blue like a script. Keep the people fighting.
It's so dumb. It's so fucking brain dead, dude. I'm sorry. There's nothing more that I can't stand, or when people conflate the right wing and the left wing on politics. It is the most brain dead take I've ever seen in my life. We have 100 years of recorded history, okay, that we can go back and look through. You have access to AI, okay? You can just ask it questions about this stuff. Both parties are not the same at all, okay? One party has fought for people by and large. Unions, that's the left. Black rights, that's the left. White rights, that's the left. Women's rights, that's the left. Trans rights, that's the left. Gay marriage, that's the left. Time off from work, that's the left. Putting controls on corporations that are butt fucking you dry, that's the left. They want free medical, that's the left. Now, you can have a conversation about why the right isn't wrong for asking questions. How can we afford this? Where is it coming from? What are we doing? Are we going to punish the people that make businesses? Because punishing them actually hurts businesses. There are logical arguments that you can have that goes down this thing, okay? But they are not the same thing. By its design, conservatives are holding to tradition, and by its design, people of the left are trying to change the system. Now, liberalism is the perfect system because it allows both of these people to have this conversation, and then through trading conversation back and forth, we can come to a decision that suits both needs of both peoples. If you're someone who wants a one-party system, you are not American, dog. That's not how we're supposed to operate. I want a strong Republican Party. I want a strong left-winging party, okay? I want my far-right lefties to have come up with more crazy ideas, because the good ideas that permeate through our culture are born there. Feminism was born as a far-left idea. Freeing slaves was a far-left idea, okay? Getting gays to marry was a far left idea. They get these ideas, they spread them towards the liberals in the center. The liberals build these things up, and then we go argue with the conservatives. And the conservatives come with their far right fucking Nazi arguments on their side, and they feed those to their moderate conservatives that then have the conversation between moderate fucking Republicans and moderate fucking Democrats. And it's here in this moderate circle where things get done as a society. It's such a conflation of values and ideas. It's so brain dead. It's the same type of shit dumb fucks like Tom McDonald throw out there. The people that want to denigrate the system will bash the system so they could come in and look like a hero afterwards. This is populism slop 101. 100%. How do you think Trump got in the office? He told you America was broken. He could repair it. He could fix it. He could save you from yourself. That's that pussy shit. That's religion. No. At the end of the day, your life comes down to your choices. No matter how shitty that is. No matter how much it sucks. That's the way the world works. Now, you can utilize religion. You can utilize politics. They're all just justifications of your ego trying to place yourself on like the spectrum of existence. But they're self-serving. Like even from the way that they're breaking down the song, I'm the truth sayer. I'm the hero. I'm the best. Notice me. It's all ego-driven slop. Meant to make you feel like you're in charge. This is intellectual dark web bullshit. This is Joe Rogan sitting there going, yeah, but we figured it out, man. Me and you, we're so much smarter than the system. It's all the Matrix, bro. It's that why they want the left and the right to fight. No one with half a brain would openly admit that the left and the right are the same. Did the left go too far with some of its bullshit? Of course it did. And guess what? I was there calling it out. I was atheism against atheism plus. As an atheist, I was fighting feminist atheism, okay? As an atheist, I was anti-SJW. When people like Anita Sarkeesian came around and tried to tell you video games were sexist because video games are sexist. Fuck you, that's dumb as shit. I was fighting against that far left bullshit 20 years ago. When Gamergate came out, I was pro-Gamergate. Okay? I was pushing against the bullshit that was of Gamergate and the far left media trying to say everything is intrinsically sexist because it's a mistelling of history. There's no close approximation to truth in that analysis. I've been anti-woke the entire time. I've made fun of bad writing. I was anti-BLM when that shit happened, bro, because I'm not about race politics. I'm a humanist that believes in a liberal framework where I don't like to view things down particular lenses on identity politics. It's brain rot. It's disgusting. It shuts down conversation. It is righteous self-indignation wrapped in the package of pretending to be deep. It's so fucking weak. That's riding the fence, riding the center. Well, I'm above both, man. I'm not on either side. But then every conspiracy you shoot out is just right-wing bullshit. You are on a side. You're just hiding from it. And you attack the system because it makes your side look more credible. That's what Tom McDonald did with his MAGA-coded rap. It's dumb shit that is not critical and it's not real. It's a fabrication meant to make you feel good. That's right. You're a victim and the world hates you and you need to be better. Get the fuck out of here.
Scream through the system, it rings. If I vanish, just know I was close to the truth. Too loud for the silence, too raw for the boost. So I weaponize words, let them cut like a blade. If the word is a stage, then I'm breaking the play. Dividing, conquer red and blue like a script. Keep the people fighting while they tighten the grip. Left hook, right jab is a staged interaction. While the real power brokers never face any action. CIA puppets put a pawn on the throne and they televise justice when they cut the head off the clone. Tell me who's the villain when the script's pre-written in the war on terror. Just a long-term business decision. I see patterns in the bullshit, every random a lie. Every headline a weapon, every question denied. They assassinate truth and they bury the proof. Put a bullet in the story, now they market to you. If you speak, you a threat. If you silent, you own. Either way, you just a cog in the system full grown. Everything fast and I hidden away like y'all in a trance. Wide awake in a nightmare, still I sharpen my stance. They worshiping demons, eating babies. I guess pros just gone crazy. I'm a lyrical leak of the secrets they bury. Got me sounding insane, but the silence is scary.
You don't sound insane. You sound misinformed. You sound like you've been corrupted by an algorithm on Twitter or TikTok. This is like that Asmongold brain rot shit where it's okay to be a disgusting human because you other the other side. You are not some arbiter of truth. You're just a person no different than the rest of us, drifting through life. Sick bars, sick flow, sick writing. But the thing you're writing about is actually just disgusting. It's just that simple. It's just that simple, bro. Like how are you going to sit here and say that the brokers never got damaged? Where did Epstein kill himself? Right? Who gives a fuck if he killed himself or not? Where did Epstein die? In jail. Where's Maxwell? In jail. Do you not know how our fucking laws work? Do you not know how the American system works? We go after people on things that we can prove, okay? Things that are fact-based, okay? Evidence, when you make substantial claims, it requires substantial evidence to back your claim. For people that don't believe in like reality and they chase some bullshit like God, this makes sense that you don't give a fuck about evidence. But the reason why not every person that's on the Epstein list isn't in jail, one, now that they're leaked, more people are combing over them. Two, they probably couldn't find direct evidence of them doing wrongdoing. Visiting the island is not the same thing as being a pedophile. That just means you went to the fucking island. Who would turn down going to an island, bro? If someone sent me a message right now and said, hey, I want you to show up, dude, we're going to show your songs over here. I'm showing the fuck up. And then if I find out 40 years later that there was a rapist circle going on in the back room with wealthy, rich people, I'm going to feel pretty shitty about that. But that's not the same thing. Things require evidence. And the big problem is the reason why things aren't being done is because we have an insane White House right now that got elected on the shit that you're pushing. He got elected on the back of Epstein, and now he's blocking the fucking file. This is the thing you guys created, the Joe Rogan sphere. You guys made Epstein this thing, and then you put him in power thinking it would come out when he's like the biggest person in it. Holy fuck! These people are not real. They cannot... How do you function? I don't understand. Remember, guys, this is just some good fun. We're just hamming it up. You know what I mean? Honestly, there's a lot of stuff in the Epstein files that is really scary. But if I'm going to attack Trump, I'm not using the Epstein files to do it. I'm going to go after the things that he's fucking said that I've seen on camera. I'm going to go after his actions with January 6th. I'm going to go after his actions after January 6th. I'm going to go after the fake elector plot that he did that no other president has ever done. And I know what you're going to do. You're going to Google that shit. And AI is going to be like, well, one time Hawaii. Bro, that was not sponsored by the fucking government. Donald Trump lied and tried to steal 6 states of their right to vote, which is un-American as fuck. That alone should have disqualified him. But you know what happens when we attack the system nonstop? We no longer think that it has value. So then people just let things slide. We literally impeached a man for getting his dick sucked and lying to the American people when Trump breathes lies every single day. The parties are not the fucking same. Holy shit.
Going crazy. I'm a lyrical leak of the secrets they bury. Got me sounding insane, but the silence is scary.
They worship fallen angels.
We are pro-human.
We are
Everybody scream crazy. We are pro-human.
This is such bullshit, by the way. These guys are not, well, pro is pro-human, 100%, okay? Love is not. You know how I can tell? That motherfucker be talking shit in his response to my song. Like, bro, I can't understand, I feel like I have to explain basic shit to people. Like when I say, hey man, I like your song, I want to give you some moderate pushback on a few things because I think some of your ideas are crazy. So I make a song doing that, and then their response song is, I'm a fat fuck that never leaves my house, despite the fact that I'm down 80 fucking pounds. I will never have kids. I'm a waste of space. Like, pro-human my ass. You're just a fucking asshole. You did not critique my ideas one bit. Anyway, let's get into it.
we are pro-love.
We are pro-love.
Love. True.
We are pro-God above. Loving this bitch with pro when we cracking the seal. Too many dead truths buried under appeals. Everybody scream crazy when the facts get revealed, but the lies sound safer, so the masses kneel. Look, 23 and me so bloodline for profit, whole DNA dead.
This guy's just gonna hit every conspiracy theory. This guy is just insane, guys. This guy, I don't know how he has 15,000 followers. He's good at rapping. He's got good bars. He's whatever. I mean, he's worse at rapping though than fucking Pro. Pro's bars are better. Even AI said, I fed this entire beef to AI to see like where everyone was. Bro, the weakest link in this entire thing is love, according to AI. Now, his fans will say otherwise because he's got 15,000 of them and they're all dick sucks. There's probably a handful, about like 100 of them that are probably decent people. But most people are, I mean, I got 1,000 fans. How many of them actually listen to my song, or are they just liking my stuff because I comment on their music? You know what I mean? I'd imagine a big percentage of the people that like my content have never even actually heard one of my songs. But I'm just learning that's the way Suno operates. Honestly, that's the way most YouTube operates. Like, I can go look at my watch time. My average watch time on an hour video is 5 minutes. People don't watch content. People are comfort seeking. They never like to challenge themselves. People love to exist in echo chambers and just be told that they're correct. Well, I'm not that guy. I'm here to tell you you're wrong. And I'm going to let my audience and your audience dictate whether I won this beef or not, dude. I don't really give a fuck. I'm just speaking my truth. You know what I mean?
Under appeals, everybody scream crazy when the facts get revealed, but the lie sounds safer, so the masses kneel. Look, 23 and me, so bloodline for profit, whole DNA, data banks. Nobody wanna stop it, they should trust the same spot they put in your jeans. Now your body just a barcode attached to machines. Go, hit the spark, I'm the gasoline after. Question authority, now they label you a disaster. Media spin doctors manufacture the panic, they prescribe sedation while the whole world panic. MK, ultra ego still flow through the nation. Trauma is controlled through the screens and the stations. They divide every race, every class, every side. Keep us busy killing each other while we were wolves hide out. Peak Epstein didn't kill himself off rip. Camera failure, go within and suck my dick. Too many rich.
Like, it sound good, you know what I mean? But like, it's so cringe. This is so on brand for the way that everyone, like right now, the far left and the far right are just anti-Semitic. And they're literally joining teams. Like, you even have Hassan having to come out and be like, guys, Nick Fuentes is not your ally. Stop. Candace Owens is not our ally. Stop. Because he knows that they're going to ruin everything he's building because he wants like, dude, Hassan is a fucking massive anti-Semite, right? But like, Hassan wants the veneer of being someone that's serious, but he's not. He doesn't engage seriously with the politics that he's talking about. And if you ever give him pushback, he just bans you, calls you some bullshit, and he just makes up names like Trump does. These people are just blue MAGA and blue MAGA. Like, it's the same thing. It's populism slop meant to make you feel good and self-righteous in your anger.
You killing each other while we were wolves hide out. Peak Epstein didn't kill himself off rip. Camera failure, go within and suck my dick. Too many rich names caught up in that web, but somehow if you read it, then I'm suddenly dead. Pro speak apocalypse, I just sharpen the scripture, cause the devil wears suits. Now it's mouth for the bitches, they monetize pushing every trend, every fear, turn addiction to a market that's a hope by the year. Fluoride in the water, pharmaceuticals and food. Whole generation numb, don't know what to conclude. Every school full of silence, every church full of frauds. So they ask why the youth got no faith. Nothing guy 11 pro in his bitch like a problem no real. Said the quiet part loud, now they clutching their shields. Every fact check confronted by the same damn machine that decide what is.
I love it, dude. So Destiny comes up with an idea called all roads lead to Rome. And the best example I have is Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate will come out and be like, the system is rigged and it's against me. So if he beats his court cases for, trafficking those women and selling women and stealing half of their money, most of which were underage, by the way, if he wins the court cases on that or it's dropped, he'll say, I told you, the truth was on my side. I beat the system. Or if he lost the court case and he ended up in jail getting butt-fucked by a guy named Babushka because he's in a different country, okay, well, then he'll be like, well, of course I was going to fail. The system is against me. I was ordained to fail. There's no point in his calculation of what's happening where there's any self-responsibility. And that placates all of society at all times. People do not like responsibility. If MAGA can't get something accomplished, it's Biden's fault. It's the deep state's fault. It's everyone else's fault except their commander-in-chief. If one of Trump's people that he put in office does something shitty, Trump is completely absolved of that. It was Pam Bondi's fault that the Epstein files didn't come out. Donnie tried. He signed the law. They justify and rationalize everything as a defense mechanism so they can do no wrong. I will openly admit, as a man, I am perfectly capable of being wrong. My YouTube channel is a documentary on what it means to think in real time. And 90% of the time, I come up with an idea, it's shot down, and I look like a moron. I don't care. It's not about being correct. It's about searching for the closest approximation of truth that you can manage. And sometimes that means Occam's razors is actually correct. Sometimes when you hear hoofbeats, sometimes it is a zebra. But 9 out of 10 times, it's a fucking horse. Jesus Christ. It's actually probably 99% or 99 out of 100 times it's a horse.
Numb, don't know what to conclude. Every school full of silence, every church full of frauds. Till they ask why the youth got no faith. Nothing God, 11 pro in his bitch like a problem the real. Said the quiet part loud, now they clutching their shields. Every fact checker funded by the same damn machine that decide what is truth. Every 9 years, said the quiet part loud. Now they clutching their shields. Every fact checker funded by the same damn machine.
God, dude, who's funding me? I swear to God, if I could get some funding, that would be awesome, dude. Bro, living paycheck, like, I make $100, like, if I'm lucky, a month on Buy Me a Coffee, okay? And then I make about $10 a month on YouTube. And I haven't sold any of my songs on Suno, despite people asking me. I make no money doing what I do, okay? I am an actual drain on my girlfriend right now because I'm in a country without a passport that I can't fucking work. I'm fucked right now, and I'm literally ball clinched by the American government waiting for my passport to arrive so it can be mailed to me so I can get a fucking job, okay? I've been here for like 5 months stuck in like absolute hell, okay? On the financial side. If someone is paying people, fucking come on, hand that shit out. I'll shill the fuck out. I need some money. Bro, I'm tired of going out and cutting people's lawns and shit, dog, which I've not actually, listen. Bro, can I get that money? Like, come on, dog. Shit.
Now they clutching their shields. Every fact checker funded by the same damn machine. That beside what is true. Every night on your screen. No, I ain't paranoid, I just know what I see. Every war got investors, every riot got leads. Left wing, right wing, same bird, same beast. Why the poor?
It's so dumb fucking shit. It's such a lack of actual knowledge on any topic that it's insane. Like, the right and the left are not the same. They're just not. The right pits you against the left because the left wants to make a lot of changes really fast. So the right creates like this environment where for like 50 years, they've been calling the left communist when there were actually communist murders in like America, okay? Like, they play up fear. No different than you are. You're playing on people's fear. You were doing Fox News propaganda right now.
It's true. Every night on your screen. No, I ain't paranoid, I just know what I see. Every war got investors, every riot got leads. Left wing, right wing, same bird, same beast. Why the poor stay hungry and the rich stay feast. And they push sex, drugs, violence right into the culture. Kill attention span slowly like a flock full of vultures. Turn men against women, got the family broke down. Now the kids raised online with no souls in the house. Process Satan move pawns, yeah, I fully agree. Cause the evil ain't horns, it's the lies we believe.
So the problem is drugs? I would argue that drugs have killed significantly less people than religion. If you don't like it, look that shit up. Your God is a lie. All gods are. They're a justification to kill other people that look different from you. I hope that helps.
Pawns, yeah, I fully agree, cause the evil ain't horns, it's the lies we believe. Whole world feel cursed, but they market it peace. And the ones who speak up always end up deceased. If I disappear, no, I said what I meant. I ain't backtracking shit, I ain't asking consent. Loving this bitch with pro, kicking doors off the truth. Too raw for the silence, too alive for the booth.
Too raw for this. You're saying what everyone is saying, right? The most popular YouTubers say the same thing. The most popular content creators are saying, Joe Rogan says it. Nick Fuentes says it. Candace Owens says it. Hassan says it. Tom McDonald says it. Everyone says this. That's like saying greed bad. No shit, Sherlock, everyone agrees. You're not saying any. You know what the hard thing is defending the system. And then also like taking the time to sparse out actual facts. That's hard. Because you can't just latch on to rage and say, haha, fuck the system. You have to look into something, spend hours diving into like this and that, whether this is accurate or not, or what statement that actually came from. Like the fact that right now people come to me and be like, well, you know, Russia deserved to invade Ukraine. They said they would never move past the red line. Meanwhile, we signed a fucking treaty with Ukraine to give up their goddamn nukes and said if they were to face any kind of problems, we offered them security guarantees. And then when you look into the fact of the matter, we never told them that we would not move past the red line. That came from Germany on behalf of NATO with Russia. That was never an official thing that came from NATO. That was one country making a claim they could not back. That's not the same thing. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Holy shit. Conspiracies rot your brain.
No one speak up, always end up deceased. If I disappear, no, I said what I meant. I ain't backtracking shit, I ain't throat, kicking doors off the truth. Too raw for the silence, too alive for the booth.
They worship fallen angels.
What fallen angel do I worship? I would love to know. What's a single fallen angel I worship? Other than logic, empathy, reason, and data. You know, facts. Or our closest approximation to a fact that we can muster based off of our limited human intelligence. I would love you to name one.
We are pro-human.
We are pro-love.
We are pro-love.
We are pro-God up above.
They rule the earth since before our birth, but the trumpets will sound, and every knee shall touch the.
Bro, you can't even say you rule the earth. You motherfuckers don't even believe the earth is more than 6,000 years old, bro. You guys don't even believe in dinosaurs. What the fuck? We have skeletons of that shit. Let me guess. Made by AI, right?
Fallen angels.
We are pro-human. Woo!
We are pro-love.
We are pro-love.
We are pro-God up above.
We are pro-love.
We are pro-God up above.
We are pro-God up above.
All right, that's the track. My boy Persuasive dropped a pretty fun track, bro. Again, when I talk about music, I don't just talk about I can talk about the way a song is built. I can talk about the lyrics. I can talk about the bars. All these things that even if I disagree with the message, there's something really here to sink into. But when a message is this grotesque and conflating both sides of the political axis, when your understanding of such things are so severely limited, the amount of damage that does needs to be confronted. And so I did. So I reached out to him and I said, hey man, just remember, this is like the setting that I set up for this. Okay. Remember, this guy's got a lot, what's his name? Has quite a few people here. Where did I go? I hate the way they do comments and stuff on this system. Oh, here it is. I love the track, guys, but just for fun, I'm going to make a track countering some of the topics, just to give a light pushback from a friend. You guys know you guys know the bars were fire, the energy was chaos, and it was a damn great collab. If you want to do that, that's cool, but you might get a response just for fun from a friend. That's what Pro said to me. So this is the song I made, critiquing some of their ideas. It is a little personal, because I do say you in it a few times, but I mostly attack the concept of the things that they're talking about.
Human beings in a silent sky.
Yeah.
Do we fictionalize the reasons why?
Every fear need a face and name. Every loss needs someone to blame.
True, though. Something that's really hard for people to understand is if you zoom in enough, people are correct. Like, the questioning of the structure that was there is very important. Like, again, so many of us live off of proximitial information, okay? Proximitial, I think I'm saying that incorrectly. Information based off of proximity to a thing. Most of us are just regurgitating the last thing we heard. So you owe it to yourself to self-reflect consciously or constantly. You need to look into why you think what you think, where those things are coming from, and what stem of logic are you following? Is your thoughts based in the logos, the logical side, or is it the pathos, the pathological? You know, these are very important elements to like your way of thinking. Which school are you pulling from? Their last song was pure pathos. Their last song was pure emotion, pure ideas out there, and they're truth sayers in a dark world, okay? I understand that because I used to feel like that when I was in my 20s. I used to spend every day going, wake the fuck up, people, the system is against you. And then I met Donald Trump, and then this motherfucker is like single-handedly destroyed everything. And I've watched for the first time in my life an actual bad faith actor in the system actively destroy it. And people like the last guys help put him there by demanding the system be broken. Even great thinkers like George Carlin, who even later reflected on his original thoughts, like, it's all rigged, man. But then he was like, man, I really kind of fucked up a little because I didn't realize the apathy of the everyday listener. Okay, that's true. You can look it up.
Someone to blame. You screen shoes, but confused suspicion with perception. Every loose spread become a grand deception. That's the drug, not facts, but the feeling you elected a villain big enough to make the chaos feel connected. You call the system evil while you string through the cables. Eat from supply chains built by invisible laborers. Power medicine satellites over nations, all forged by exhausted heads across generations.
Yes, listen. Every system that's ever been made has been made to assist human flourishing. They just disagree on the how. Communism does it, socialism does it, liberalism does it. I mean, they all do it. Feudalism did it. You know, they're all built to try and accommodate lives. That's just what systems are designed to do. And every country is built up on the back of hardworking people. The country requires those people to show up and do their job. But a hard truth that people need to reconcile is that every country is founded on the back of war, bloodshed, and atrocities. Our country is no different. The country across the ocean is no different. It doesn't matter. Everything is built up on bloodshed. That's a hard fact that a lot of people don't like to swallow. The difference between me and the other guys is I admit that. And I admit that my side has biases. But my side, which is not perfect, which is liberalism, does have weaknesses. Liberalism allowed things like women to be repressed. Liberalism allowed black people to be slaves. Now, liberalism allowed self-corrective measures to fix those things, with the far left pushing some of their stuff towards the center, and it showed a clear hypocrisy to where we had to overcome these things. And you could be mad that the system that was created allowed such things to happen. That's fine. But a lot of these things happen due to happenstance, you know, and a lot of them happen because of your religion forcing its edicts on people in this country. Now, your religion wasn't wrong in its approach to try to help give women and men different roles to play in society, because at the time, women and men had different things that they could do. They had different capacities in which they could work at. Through time, through evolution, and through science, we've managed to change and fix some of those differences. The things like tampons, clean restrooms, and stuff like that have really elevated women back to the forefront, but they also had to fight tooth and nail for 90 years to be called an equal. So I understand why some women don't like liberalism, because they had to fight the system to enact the change. I completely agree that you want to push back against that. That's fine. But the system allowed the correction. Other systems don't. You don't get that with Sharia law. You're just a fucking product. You don't get that in total libertarian society because there's no society to speak of. You don't get that with anarchy because there is no structure. There are no rules. You don't get that with communism because everyone's a product. Liberalism is the only system that allows itself to change, and it can incorporate other things of other schools of thought. We have Social Security in America. That is a socialism idea. We allow for people to do co-ops and startups in America that can be communist run. That is a thing. Women in the last 100 years have become one of the most prolific powerhouses in medicine and in teaching. They have taken over, and more women now graduate school. So in less than 100 years, if men built this entire civilization and women caught up and destroyed those differences, in 100 years they did that? God damn! Sorry.
Vibes off the heads across generations. Human beings hate a silent sky, so we fictionalize the reasons why. Every fear need a face tonight. Every loss needs someone to blame. Point of reference, center of attention, turn coincidence into intervention. Maybe a day demons in the wires. Maybe it's the ego, fear and fire.
It's true too, though. You know what I mean? So like, now this might be able to be read as bad, right? Like point of reference, center of attention. But if you realize in the course, I'm not talking about anyone directly. Okay, here I'm talking about the ideas and humans as a whole. And my theory on the point of reference is the theory that I'm currently writing, where we are all just the point of reference, a proximity to our desire for to survive. So like everyone's utilitarian until it's their family on the line. You know what I mean? Everyone is about the self until, you know, a COVID, or not COVID, but like a pandemic happens where the mortality rate is incredibly high. Let's say like 98%. Well, in order to protect yourself, you're going to demand that other person get a vaccine. Like it's all based off of proximity to like threat values, based off of your zoom in and zoom out levels, you know? So when we say that we're the point of reference, center of attention, well, of course, in our world, we are the thing, you know what I mean? Like we're this conscious being going through existence. We are always going to be the center of our own attention. It doesn't matter who you are. We still fit that bill regardless. You know what I mean? And again, wanting to put yourself as the truth sayer in a song like this, that's all ego. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Like, more power to you, man. Spit your ego. Get your cheddar, bro. Do your thing. Get your bag. But don't deny what it is. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You can't deny fact, bro.
Angels, not demons, just people in momentum, greed me for progress and the permanent tension. Their correction exists. Not angels, not demons, just people in momentum, greed me for progress and the permanent tension. Their correction exists. Nobody honest denies it, but you turned every flaw into an apocalyptic bias. You say they control us. Who exactly is they? A million moving parts don't coordinate that way. History ain't a puppet with a singular string. It's famine, war, markets, and ambitious kings.
True. It's always like there's always a handful of bad actors that set a bad stage. I mean, look at any officer of law, right? Like a majority of cops are hardworking people that just are doing the best they can with what they have. One bad cop can do something awful, and then the entire institution of the police force is treated like shit. It's like a childish approach to like view the world. Do we need police reform? Fuck yes. But like, let's also be honest. A lot of poorer communities, I know because I was grown and raised in one, from Lake Elsinore, they like cops. Cops are a good thing. They stop drug deals. They stop drug addicts. They stop people from breaking into your home. Or if some form of damage has been done, they're the people that you call to seek some form of justice. You know, it's not self-righteous justice, but justice abided by law.
Human beings hate a silent sky, so we fictionalize the reasons why. Every fear need a face and name. Every loss needs someone to blame. Point of reference, center of attention, turn coincidence into intervention. Maybe it ain't demons in the wires. Maybe it's the ego. You want hidden God because randomness hurts. Safer than admitting like a brutal birth. Safer than facing that suffering's ordinary night. Every tragedy a ritual conspiracy. The internet poison your sense of proportion. Now every coincidence becomes distortion. Every headline proof, every silence a scheme. You don't investigate, you narrative by stream.
True. I mean, see, the bars aren't even bad here, bro. This guy said my bars are the weakest shit I've ever heard, is what he said. So this motherfucker was not playing a game between friendly, people. Like here, look, all right, look. This is what I said to homie. Love, persuasive pro, all in good fun. Thank you for letting me think about these topics and form thoughts on the subject. Keep spitting your truth. And then this motherfucker, like, he doesn't even like, his only comment on my thing is the weakest shit I've ever heard. Now, remind you, this came out after his diss. So this man listened to my song, right? Like, he listened to this track, didn't comment, didn't like, didn't say nothing. Wrote a diss track, which I will show after this. And then all he did was insult me, bro. Like, all right. I guess, like, there is no grace in what we do, bro. Respect. The problem is randomness does exist. Like, the Big Bang is supposed to be the explanation of how the universe gets here. And then the next dumb question in philosophy is like, well, what caused the Big Bang? We don't know. It's just a brute fact, you know? Now, some people have theories, like, but how are you going to know what happened at the dawn of time?
Human beings hate a silent sky.
I will admit that I feel like I put this course in too many times. It should have been in like maybe like I should have made the two verses one verse, or instead of four verses, it should have been two verses, and then one hook, one hook. It just makes the song take a little too long. Now the breakup feels nice because theirs was just a wall of text, and at some point you're just like, I don't know where I am. But the choruses are too long to be as frequent as they are in my track. I'll admit that right now.
So we fictionalize the reasons why every fear need a face and a name. Every loss needs someone to blame. Point of reference, center of attention, turn coincidence into intervention. Maybe get dang demons in the wires. Maybe it's the ego, fearing. Question authority, good, that's healthy behavior. But you question everything except your favorite creators. That ain't rebellion, that's devotional trance. A new religion for men addicted to patterns and names. You talk about Satan while you fall fear for applause. Turn anxiety to identity, paranoia to cause. If truth matters, then evidence matters too. Now I saw a TikTok and it resonated, proof.
Now, that is kind of a mean line, right? That was just for the sake of the game, though. You know what I mean? Like, I am equating their philosophy to a TikTok video. But anyone that's dived into any of these topics for any length amount of time that is acting in good faith can't approach it in the way that they did. The totality in which they spoke was just inaccurate. Now, you might say they had some truths, but they were ill-formed truths that are more dangerous than the truth that they were trying to pursue. The system does have drawbacks. The system does leave behind people, and those people need to be heard and helped. But when you want to attack the system for the small amount of people that are left behind, you're kind of forgetting all the people that help the system helps, right? And that system does help millions of people. And if you really want to be honest, that form of liberalism and democracy that's been spreading globally has freed more people than any other system in the world, and has also had significantly less death tolls in the process. Because earlier in this video, I made the joke about how like religion has killed more people than whatever the fuck I was talking about. You know what's killed more people than religion? Failed systems. Because religion is just a system. Like communism has killed more people, Islam has killed more people, or not like Islam the religion, but like the structure in which some of these Arabic countries base their stuff off of far right Islamic stuff. You know what I mean? Like those nations kill people for drawing their God, for disagreeing with them, for women wearing things, for being gay. Like they kill people. That's a system, not just the religion. This is a governmental system designed to oppress and destroy people. Now, does that mean they deserve to be killed in droves? By no means. But if you really want to get into the meat of it, I can talk about why the war happened in Israel. I could talk about the last 6 incursions, the last 6 treaties. I could talk about years, dates, and all that stuff if you really want to get into it. The video's already pretty long, and we're not even to the second song.
Human beings hate a silent sky, so we fictionalize the reasons why every fear need a face and name. Every loss needs someone to blame. Point of reference, center of attention, turn coincidence into intervention. Maybe it ain't demons in the wires. Maybe it's the ego, fearing. Civilization fragile, held together by strain, by welders, truckers, nurses, working.
Oh, cool.
Shadow covers meeting under the
I think he did another song about me. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
just flawed humans trying not to all collapse at noon. You wanna fight evil, start local, start small. Help your damn neighbor instead of decoding it all. Cause the world doesn't heal through cryptic obsession. It heals through competence, restraint, and connection.
See, that's one of the hardest things to live with, is that dark truth, right? Like that hard truth that we only exist as a society because people with big guns massacred innocent people to build a society. Like that is a hard truth you really have to reconcile. If you want to defend the system or the country that you're a part of, you have to stand on the backs of those people that we did wrongfully destroy to build this society. You have to admit that truth. If you can't, then you're not being honest about the side that you're on. But despite those horrible atrocities that I wouldn't defend being done today, I can honestly tell you that the society that we built has helped millions and millions of people. Like just from our soft power alone and helping AIDS pandemics in Africa. That was canceled by Elon Musk and Trump, by the way. Illegally. Like that helped out so much. Teaching people about like the difference between gender and fighting against religious orthodoxy in like the Middle East. Like that's huge, man. And we need to help those in the Middle East that flee a country under the actual oppression from those regimes. That doesn't mean that every Arabic country is like some crazy Islamic fucking nationalist regime trying to purge the West. But there are some. And they have splinter cells of terrorists that do exist. But what is a terrorist? It's just like a thing we labeled. Like if you really want to get reductive and get to the root of the thing, like a terrorist is just like the freedom fighter of tomorrow. If they were to achieve their goals and history was to be written, it would be written in a way that they are the good guys, much like our history is too. You owe it to yourself to go out of your hug box and go listen to critical ideas, which is what I do. And I can't wait to dive into his last song of a big fat guy looking there. That's cool, man. That's cool. I like it. Very, very, very classy. That'll be a real-time reaction. We'll see it together.
Human beings hate a silent sky.
So we fictionalize the reasons why.
Every fear need a face and a name.
Every loss needs someone to blame.
All right, that was my track, pushing back on the ideas and themes that Love and Persuasive put out there. Let's get into Love's new track, Lost to Crabs. There we go. I like it.
Trust in the Lord.
All right, so this is what Not Your Stereotype featuring Love. Apparently Persuasive Pro. Now, luckily, I don't have to be nice in my retort after this because this guy, motherfucker's unhinged. All right, let's listen to what he's got saying. This motherfucker, I don't know how this guy has so many subs. I mean, his music is dope, but he has got the mentality of a child. All right, let's get into it.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. Lord, let's get it.
I love it. They start off by admitting they have no understanding and they trust God. Love it. Means that I don't really have to go that hard on anything they say because they don't understand anything they're talking about. It's all just noise. Let's get into it.
He said unto them, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. My God is not giving me the spirit of fear.
I know your God hasn't given you the spirit of fear because fear is a rational thing. You're not rational, buddy. You wrap yourself in the pretentious platitudes of a God that protects your ego and it makes you feel safe and comforted. Good. Remember, though, that's still my boy.
Let's get it. He said unto them, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. My God is not giving me the spirit of fear. You misunderstand me thinking I'm saying the ending is near. Here's another development. When the government's holding all the weapons, I'm not here.
The government's holding all the weapons? I'm sorry. Okay, so like, what do you mean by government? Are we talking about the two political parties? So the left wanted to push Kamala Harris and she got defeated because she did run on a few dumb things and she didn't have a good campaign. But I voted for her and I respect the fuck out of Harris. I think she would have been a far better president. Trump was not the want of the Republican Party. People like Tucker Carlson spoke actively against him being a dipshit. Ben Shapiro said that he was glad that he'd never have to ride for Trump again. But when Donald Trump had the votes, not necessarily the votes, but the polling to show that the Republican Party had no choice, they went with Donald Trump. They went to Donald Trump by choice because Donald Trump was powerful. Why was Donald Trump powerful? Because he had the people behind him. Because he told people what they wanted to hear. He fed their victim narrative and told them that he could fix their country. He lied to them. The Republican Party, the Republican establishment did not want him. The Democratic establishment did not want him. He got in anyway. People have power. It's not the government that has power. The government can make one person disappear, but the government can't shut down everything. We saw that in Minnesota When it took 2 Americans dying, Donald Trump got defeated by protests, dude. By political will. You have more power than the government will ever have. How is it that I'm the one that's talking about how we have no meaning, but we have power? Like, I don't understand how I have to convince Christians, like, what they do matters. It matters, man. Even in your own fucking religion, it matters. Your God will judge you by the actions you take. You can ask for forgiveness at the end of your life and he will forgive you. But if you didn't live like a Christian, you will get less of a reward in heaven. You are punished by God. He is the ultimate judge. Like, even your own religion teaches you this, bro. Holy shit. All right, anyway.
Government's holding all the weapons, I'm not here worrying myself sick. They are the ones trying to give us medicine quick.
They're not trying to give you medicine quick. They're trying to give you medicine because they operate off of no one really knows what the fuck is wrong with other people. So they try the most common medicine first because some things have like disease, like symptoms, like other things. So you try the thing that's most commonly going to fix your problem because doctors are extremely overworked because America's full of unhealthy fat fucks like myself that believe they're God's gift to America. They eat cheeseburgers and then they brag about how big their dick is when they have a fucking micro cock while they're in front of a doctor who's been telling them for years to stop drinking alcohol, stop living like a fucking Neanderthal, and go out and fucking walk. I've lost 90 pounds in less than a year by cutting out most soda and going for an evening walk. Bro, I could bench press like 290 pounds and I'm a weak ass bitch. I ran out of breath wiping my ass. Bruh. Anyway.
Don't get confused with my words, they on a redneck trick. You think I'm here spitting Rogan's rhetoric? I am the original heretic, obvious.
Do I think you're spitting Rogan rhetoric? Yes. Do I think you're mind broken by libertarian and anarcho fucking ideals? Yes. Do I think you're selfish? In the song, yes. As a person, I believe you're a Christian and I believe you live the Christian edict, which is usually not to brag about how big your dick is. But let's do it. It's all in good fun. Let's have it.
Rhetoric, I am the original heretic. Obviously, you ain't paying attention. Love's not on the supply chain, not to mention. He lives off the grid.
Love's not on the supply chain, not to mention he lives off the grid. I thought the same way as a kid as you do now. Bro! What? I would love for you to try and... You know what? You don't even know how I think. You know how I know that? You say that I'm nihilist. I don't believe in nihilism. Nihilism is a thing for pussies.
Grid, I thought the same way when I was a kid as you do now. Some advice, brother, the first trap of intelligence is nihilism. Probably read some Nietzsche and fell into that.
Bro, Nietzsche is not that good. Why? See, you don't even know my beliefs. I have an entire song called The Point of Reference. I have papers that I'm writing. You're just wrong. This is I love it. You try and paint me as a picture, but you can't. Because no one can. I'm the only person that votes Democrat that criticizes Democrats. I'm the only person that can run in Republican circles and speak to the truth that they're putting forward. I'm the only person that's going to admit to you that I don't know if the earth is round or flat, but I have no reason to disagree with the scientists that say it's round. You are shadow boxing someone here, dude. I'm not the guy that you think I am, motherfucker. Sheesh.
System, you trying to live but can't find a rhythm. Loving our past the wisdom, but if you don't want to see, you won't see when they are cannibalizing children's flesh.
They're going to cannibalize my children's flesh? Well, at least you have the idea that I can have kids. Your buddy Love said I'll never have them. Nice.
It ain't a guess, it's us against them. It's us serving under him, God. I've seen good killers and thieves that couldn't overcome their genes and everything.
They couldn't. You know what's great? Let me just tell you on how I was born, okay? So I came from a woman who people would classify as retarded. Now, I don't use that terminology to do that. I do that just on bad ideas. But she suffered a severe mental decline. Now, my biological family member that was of that family tried to adopt me when I was born. Guess what? She was too old and also suffered from severe mental deficiencies. Okay? So I was born addicted to heroin, and the product of my birth was a caretaker sexually assaulting and forcing his penis into the woman that was my biological mother. That's how I was created, okay? And then I got adopted by a family that was Republican and brought me into their home and taught me morals, values, and the strength of Christianity. Okay? And I learned all of those things. But then when it came down to whether or not God is real, and the only way to take that thing is through leap without any evidence or logic, it's not something that I can get behind. I can value the spiritualness of religion. I can value the pursuit of trying to understand yourself in the world and trying to build a cohesive worldview that religion offers. I can value all of those things. But what I can't value is a motherfucker saying their shit is true when there is no evidence to suggest that. It is a personal belief that you share with thousands, if not millions of other people. And it feels good to say it, but that doesn't make it true. You can't prove it, and if it can't be proven, you can't call it a fact. You can call it a feeling you care a lot about. And I value that you care about that feeling, but you can't call it a fact. And no one's coming to eat babies. Like, what the fuck are you, like, are you so brain broken that you buy into all of the slop bullshit and all of the crap rhetoric from both extremes that you think people are going to come out and eat your babies? Or are you fucking QAnon? What the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck is going on with the internet, bro?
Us against them, it's us serving under him. God, I've seen good killers and thieves that couldn't overcome their genes and everything in between. Humans don't eat babies, it goes against our nature. Even Darwin with facial and tell you the same. My brother, you sound lost, but God knows your name. I've studied it all, tried to suppress it with alcohol, cause I found truth.
I studied it all, but you called my shit nihilism instead of absurdism. Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not a nihilist. If anything, out of all of the classic philosophical takes, I would probably be mostly in the Albert Camus version of absurdism, to find meaning in the absurd and embrace it anyway. So, like, you're not even accurate in your description on what you're talking about. You've studied it all, but you got me wrong? All right, dude. Have you not heard of absurdism, dog? Like, I have songs about this entire every song that I've released in like the past 5 months has been hinting at that. Yo, bro, you've been listening to them, or have you not actually listened to them and you just liked them and don't do what I do, which is actually get into a song, dive into the lyrics, and talk about them? Because unlike you motherfuckers, I put my face on camera. I ain't hiding, bitch.
Who woulda knew, huh? Pro study with the Buddha has a copy of the Quran, and in the living room I ain't all doom and gloom.
Oh shit, you read the Quran, you're fucked. You're fucked in the brain. I get it now. I get it. That's why they believe all this insane shit. Oh, fuck. Look, the deviation between violent people in the world is Muslims and their religion at like 63%, and just below it at fucking the second most dangerous ideology to ever exist is Christianity, dude. It's at 62%. You could just look at the last, 100 years of fucking political killings. Both of these ideologies have killed more people than anything else. And the whole thing behind it is God. God. You know why? Because it gives you an armor of self-righteous vindication. It's pussy shit. It's pussy shit. It's pussy shit. Oh, you can't hit that. I'm so used to hitting the little arrow thing to go back because it's like YouTube, but you can't do that.
Used to rock inverted pentagram, so we that tentagram, and I know that's not the devil symbol. My knowledge goes deeper, it'll make you tremble. I read the Torah, then the gospel, then the Vedas too. Every path kept pointing back to something greater, true. But you ain't ready, you still stuck up in the echo chamber. Program thoughts got you moving like a broken gamer. What you know it's how.
A broken gamer? I like it because I am a gamer. I'm in an echo chamber. Okay, let me just summarize this. Out of all the creators on Suno, how is it that I have an audience? I have an audience because I had one song blow up called Ghostin' Girls. And since then, because I had one moment of temporary fame, I've spent a majority of my time on Suno liking other people's songs. I'm not in any Discord groups. I'm not in any group with other people making content. I'm in no clique. I don't go around. I don't ask people to react to my songs. I don't do any of that. I just make songs and then I go around and listen to hundreds of artists a day. I spend 3 hours of every one of my days listening to other Suno artists, giving them feedback on their tracks, going through their thought pattern, talking about what they have going on. Ain't no one else doing that shit. Most people drop fire track and move on. They don't even fucking listen. You like one song on someone's profile, within 1 minute you get 5 like tracks back to back to back on yours. They didn't listen to shit. They didn't hear. This is proof. You haven't heard a single word I said in any of my songs, and yet here I am actually rocking your shit. And right now, you know you're in the wrong. You're going to back Love because he's on your side of the political aisle, and then you're going to back Love because he's a bigger content creator. But he's acting, when we get down to this next verse, as a disgusting bitch. And you know that. You know he's wrong. You know that's not how a God-fearing American should do. You guys are operating in the judgment bias. That's you. You guys aren't even living up to your own ideals in your first song. You're not pro-human. You're not pro-love. You're just a bunch of bitches offended that someone gave you pushback, dog. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? What the fuck? And they said they were going to do this as friends? Bro, what the fuck? I can't even get Love to respond to any of my shit. He just attacking. He just made a song called Me a Fat Bitch, I bet. Bro, what the fuck is this? These are children. I don't give a fuck what their age is. Mentally, they have the mentality of a child. A child, bro.
I was the Mordecai Valiant, I am the guardian. You don't wanna acknowledge love. Tell this man about your cottage.
Why would I give a fuck about Love's cottage? What, do you guys live? Are you guys in a cult? Do you guys all live off grid together at Love's house while you suck his dick? What is happening? All right, let's see what Love's got to say, bro.
You see the wires, I see the war behind control. You say it's random, just momentum, human error. But evil organized, don't move like scattered terror. You think a million parts can never synchronize.
They cannot synchronize. You know how I know that? I can't even get people to agree with me what color, what the shape of the earth is, dog. What the fuck? What people do not synchronize on ideals and beliefs. Like, there's a reason why in America we used to not be we used to be more insular, but more open, okay? So back in the day, if you lived in Ohio, you built a community around Ohio values. This is like the old conservative argument that state rights should be for the states because every demographic of people are different and they have different needs, wants, and desires. Each state had its own thing. As social media bloomed into the monolith that it is now, it's created a shitty environment where everything feels to fall down certain political lines, and certain thought process. And if you ever deviate, you're like ostracized from that community. So out of all of us here, who's in an echo chamber? Who's in an echo chamber? I'm in no group. I'm in no clique. I sacrifice my money. Okay, I'm a YouTuber, all right? I react to content on YouTube. My boy Rin, who is like the biggest content creator, who's giving me a shout out, right? He's giving me a shout out, dude. It didn't amount to shit because I look like this, all right? It ain't easy to be a YouTuber when you look like this, all right? I went after one of his tracks called Starry Nights. And then I got into a beef with him on Twitter. I lost 50 subscribers and my channel has gone to a standstill. I did it proudly and I'll do it again if the motherfucker releases the track I don't think holds up to scrutiny to his other ones, all right? That's what I do. I put my name on the line and I risk what my bag is because I don't give a fuck. It's not about likes. It's not about the game. It's not about any of that. It's about pursuing truth. I refuse to be a comfort-seeking bitch. Now, if y'all want to be in that echo chamber, you can be that. You can pat yourself on the back about how woke you are. All you're doing is placating to the lowest common denominator and making people agree with you. It's pussy shit. It's not the same corruption, but let's just break it down. Why would corruption happen worldwide? Well, probably because the systems are built and maintained by people. The problem isn't the system. The problem is us. We're infallible, all right? We are not infallible. We make mistakes. We are wrong, and we can justify anything in our mind. All of your songs are just a justification for your self-righteous hatred. That's all it is. That's all you're doing right here. People can justify anything. So if they get into a position of power, they can start critiquing and changing their ideas, and they can start feeding themselves through their own ego that, oh, well, I'm still on the side of right. If you aren't fact-checking yourself and actually taking the lens from Stoicism and thinking hardly about your choices and the things that you actually have control over, then you can drift easily. It's a hard meditation to do every day. And to do that, you have to have painstakingly honest conversations about where you are, what your intent is, and what you're doing. If you're not doing that, it's easy to drift. But in those conversations, you have to be honest. people don't like honesty. That's why you cling to God. Oh!
And corruption repeat worldwide. You see the wires, I see the war behind control. You say it's random, just momentum, human error. But evil organized, don't move like
Oh my God, dude. It's so brain dead.
scattered terror. You think a million parts can never synchronize, and why the same corruption repeat worldwide? I'm not your stereotype. I studied both sides, and still found God standing firm when the logic died.
What a shit line. I mean, it's effective, right? It's effective, right? But it's shit. You are the stereotype. You just did it. You just stereotyped yourself. You said the logic died, so I believe in God. That's the stereotype of religion. So you are a stereotype. Thank you. Thank you for, I don't even, end of video. Like you prove my point. Thank you. And here, wait, we got another course and 2 courses? All right, well, that's kind of trash. Let's do it again.
You see the wires, I see the
Who goes into a course? Who made this?
war behind control. You say it's random, just momentum, human error. But evil organized, don't move like scattered terror.
This guy said he came with as many facts since Fat Boy said I was misinformed. Classic. Classy. Just so you know, every time I argue with a communist, they say I'm a Nazi. And every time I argue with a MAGA person, they say I'm a communist. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, I'm just like, hey man, systems matter and we should be more honest and appropriate truth as often as possible in conversation. But okay.
A million parts can never synchronize, and why the same corruption repeat worldwide? You see the wires, I see the war behind control. You say it's random, just momentum, human error. But evil organized, don't move like scattered terror. You think a million parts can never synchronize, and why the same corruption repeat worldwide? I'm not your stereotype. I studied both sides, and still found God standing firm when the logic died.
I mean, it sounds good, but 2 courses back to back might break up the flow, especially with how long the courses are. I'm starting to realize when we're writing these rap disses, we should write shorter courses and more verse. But at least this one sounds better than the first track, because the first track was a little more chaotic. This one is a little more structured. But let's get into what Love's got to say. I bet you it's going to be super enlightening and not self-aggrandizing at all.
Love, let's get it, pro. You talk about random skies while Zionist pilots fly.
Yeah, there it is. So immediately pivot to Zionism. So you're just doing the same slop that the far left and the far right does. So good job. So okay, so this should be taken seriously because he's going to invoke the Palestinian movement to win a debate about systems, I guess. Let's see how he unpacks this. Remember, all I did in my song was call out how they have this conspiratorial way of thinking and how they're kind of pointing themselves as heroes in an age of, misinformation. But it's just like the same shit that everyone does. You know what I mean? When you tell me you're truth seeking, that should be a red flag. Now, I have 12 years of evidence to suggest that. 12 years of videos, 12 years of online movement arguing and defending my points. And I've done so handsomely, I might add. But I always take a point that a lot of people don't want to defend until years later. And if they have a realization moment, they'll be like, damn, Will was right. It happens every time.
Let's get it, pro. You talk about random skies while Zionist pilots fly, dropping white phosphorus on Palestine with American supply lines. A coincidence? Nah.
So why are we at war with Palestine? I mean, if we really want to get in, why are we at war? Oh, that's right. They did it October 7th, the crazy terrorist attack. Okay, well then how come Palestine isn't a state? That's weird. Like I remember when we took that kingdom from the Ottoman Empire. Well, not us. I think it was the Britons or whatever. It was those fellers, right? The UK people, like up in that area. They took that from the Ottoman Empire and promised a state to Palestine and Israel. What happened there? I can't read. Oh, that's right. Israel, the budding state of Israel, agreed to the allyship and to create two states. They thought it was going to be a pragmatic decision that would have later repercussions, but they thought it was the right choice to do. What would the Kingdom of Palestine done? Oh, that's right. They launched a terrorist attack on a budding nation that were following the edicts of the not the United Kingdom, but what the fuck was it, bro? It was before we called it. Oh no. It was before we called it. What is my brain doing right now? That's what happens when you don't smoke weed, bro. They're like the massive government organization that, well, I'm blank anyway, dude. Like, it's a group of people that all of the world is a part of. I can't remember what it's called for some reason. My brain is not fucking working. They agreed to the terms of it. Palestine didn't. Palestine and Egypt launched an attack on Israel that night. You are not on the side of justice here. You are looking at one incident and saying that Israel is a bad actor. That's all you're doing. Now, can we critique the things Israel's done throughout their time as Israel? Yeah, of course. Netanyahu's got to go. The West Bank has to be shut down, and all that land needs to be given back. Okay? But like, are we going to have an honest conversation about why these things happened? Or is it just automatically one side evil and all nuance is gone because it's just easier to paint things in a broad brush? Is that what we're going to do? Or are we going to actually talk about things on the ground level that led to the event that we're at now? Or is it just that the event we're at now is so bad that no matter what they did, it doesn't matter? And if that's the case, then you're not someone I can even rationally have a conversation with. You aren't thinking, you're just jumping on the new hype train bullshit talking point that the far left and the far right pushes. You're just anti-Jewish, dude. It's crazy.
Let's get it, pro. You talk about random skies while Zionist pilots fly, dropping white phosphorus on Palestine with American supply lines. A coincidence? Nah, patterns of genocide funded by taxpayers like you. Too cowardly to see the lie. You stream through cables owned by 6 conglomerates. All
bro, you were on Suno writing AI music. You were on the same internet you're critiquing, bro. Hello, okay. What a moron.
Zionist control peddling narratives, their regimen. While I'm 70 miles from convenience, build my own home with my 2 hands, completely independent, not a dependent.
Oh my God, you built a house. Oh my God. Bro, I've worked on cars my entire life. I built my house too. You know, the one that I plan on living in, it's called a van. I built a van into a home. Like, do we want to sit here and brag about it? Like, what? Me and my girlfriend have a farm. We sustain ourselves entirely off of what we build. A lot of our electricity stuff is solar. Okay? Bro, I'm up in Canada roughing it with actual crazy... Bro, we had wind so strong. Bro, this guy is delusional. This guy's delusional. Okay.
The cock on a system, I harvest my meat, I grow my food, my water's purified, my electricity's off grid, my skills are fortified. You learning narratives, I'm learning practical trades every day.
I was a truck driver and a fucking mechanic. My entire career is blue collar. What? How wrong do you have to be? You are shadow boxing something that I am not. I have 13 years of content on YouTube. I have 200 songs on Suno. You've liked some of them, which means you didn't actually listen, bitch. Holy fuck. Brain dead.
You're the one in sedated slavery. I broke free from the maze. You're glued to your screen while I'm welding steel.
You were on Suno, bro. What the fuck? Yes, I'm glued to my screen because it's my job, dumbass. That's what I do. What? I don't. These aren't even good bars. What is this?
My food, my water's purified, my electricity's off grid, my skills are fortified. You learning narratives, I'm learning practical trades every day. You're the one in sedated slavery. I broke free from the maze. You're glued to your screen while I'm welding steel. You're scrolling through TikTok while I'm cultivating fields. You're exhausted.
Cultivating? Bro, I don't even watch TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok in like 4 years. Who are you talking to, man? I'm like the biggest anti-TikTok person ever. I was glad when they banned it. What the fuck? Oh my God, dude, these people aren't real. They can only harm you.
Busted hands are building weapons for apartheid while Israel's harvesting organs from the dead. Verified you mention roads and power. Ignore the control grid, smart meters and 5G towers. Every citizen tagged by Mossad's data mining subsidiaries. It's all in the filings. Look up the patents. Fuck boy, your ignorance is beguiling. They fingerprinted your voice while you was chatting on the phone. Now your biometric data sitting in a database in Tel Aviv. Home of Unit 8200.
Who gives a fuck? They sell data. They have your data, bro. They have all of your info. You were not exempt from that. You use Suno. What are we doing? Okay. You sound like the leftists that complain about climate change while riding on private planes and fucking texting on their cell phone. You have become the things you used to mock, dude. How do you not see the consistent oh my God, these people are not real. They're just trying to get their bag. That's all it is.
For apartheid while Israel's harvesting organs from the dead. Verified you mention roads and power. Ignore the control grid, smart meters and 5G towers. Every citizen tagged by Mossad's data mining subsidiaries. It's all in the filings. Look up the patents. Fuck boy, your ignorance is beguiling. They fingerprinted your voice while you was chatting on the phone. Now your biometric data sitting in a database in Tel Aviv. Home of Unit 8200. Hacking elections from Brazil to the States while you rhyme about helping neighbors. Your complicit.
Okay. If you can make massive change in your system locally. Christians used to know this, by the way. Okay? That's why Christians, no matter what you want to say about them, used to do food drives at churches to help the poor, to help those that were suffering. Okay? Doing things on a local level is the best way to improve the life of those around you, which is why Republicans used to care about state rights. I don't know how I'm the only person on the internet that understands the difference between a liberal and a fucking conservative, and I'm the only person that can actually articulate the differences between the two, while all these brain-dead fucking morons are placating to just big words to sound intelligent. It's all a fucking gimmick, fake shill thing to sell an identity that they don't possess, while they sit behind fake icons on Suno and brag about how bold they are. Dog, my name is William Barry. I'm right here. I ain't hiding, bitch. What? What's up? What's up? I look like this and I still got the bravery to stand here before you. The fuck are you doing, pussy? Oh, I'm sorry. You're welding houses and shit. Why are you welding houses? What the fuck? What are you welding? You're making weapons. You are literally just an extremist libertarian that wants to kill people that disagree with you. That's all you are. You are an authoritarian through and through. And if you guys are wondering why I'm being so mean, you know.
Sitting there, hate you say who's there with your head in the sand while Rothschild's finance wars across the land. The Balfour Declaration, the Federal Reserve scam.
The Federal Reserve is a scam? My God, it's libertarian slop. Oh my God. There's a reason why no one around the world follows these dipshit ideas. They don't work. Once you build a libertarian economy, you know what happens? They start building safety nets for the people that exist in it. And then you just get back to liberalism. God damn it.
In there, hate you say who's there with your head in the sand while Rothschild's finance wars across the land. The Balfour Declaration, the Federal Reserve scam. It's all connected.
I love that he's got to like pretend like I don't talk about these things. I love that he says my head is in the sand. In this very video, I talked about these things. I have years of talking about these things. But the system helps more people than it harms. Mathematically, it's working. Now, we need to help those that are still behind. We got a lot of work to do. But you can't even admit that, dog. I don't know which one of us has got their head in the clouds. Oh, probably the guy who sucks on Jesus' dick. Holy shit.
Declaration, the Federal Reserve scam. It's all connected. You just too programmed to understand. You talk about chaos, while they manufacture it all from false flags. The pandemic's what.
Oh my God. So the pandemic was a false flag. Say that to the millions of people that actually died, you fucking troglodyte. So all vaccines All vaccines are a lie? Are you going to give me that? Are we going to go down that rabbit? Oh my, I love it. These people are insane.
The Gentiles fall, your randomness is their script. You just recite your part, or willing sacrifice the designers are. You mention ambitious.
Okay, so Jews control everything. Got it. So you're just an anti-Semitic racist. I don't have to worry about you. Oh, okay.
Kings, but won't name the bloodline. The Sabbatean Frankists infiltrating every paradigm from the Matic in the Wall Street. Their fingerprints traced while you're stuck in elementary rhymes about time and space. I question everything, especially your weak ass.
You question everything? You question everything? You believe in God. What the fuck? You can't question anything. I love this. Is porn, dude.
Vicious kings, but won't name the bloodline. The Sabbatean Frankists infiltrating every paradigm from the Matic in the Wall Street. Their fingerprints traced while you're stuck in elementary rhymes about time and space. I question everything, especially your weak ass rebuttal. Your whole track's a psyop to make conspiracy.
A psyop. My track is a psyop. God damn. You know what, dude? You know what's so crazy? If my track is a psyop and you have all the backing of your community and all of your homies, and I'm a lone person that makes content, right? Like I have no group, I'm in no thing. People like my stuff just because I go and listen to theirs. That's it. That's why people show up to my music. It's not because I'm bomb. It's not because I'm gangster. It's because they're fulfilling what they believe to be an obligation from me visiting their songs. It's not true. It's not an obligation. They don't owe me shit. Okay? But I have people that listen to my music, if they listen, are coming because I was kind to them. That's it. That's it. A psyop. What's the psyop? Someone pay me, goddammit! Why am I so broke? My bank account is about to be closed, dude. What the fuck? I'm a psyop. I'm a double agent, bro. Operation 700 pounds. Or double agent 700 pounds. God damn, bro. This is a child's view.
Seem unsettled when the truth is documented, declassified, and proven. You just too scared to admit your worldview's ruined. They admitted the U.S. that's liberty, admitted the Levant affair, admitted Operation Northwood.
Bro, what some people admit to is not the entire thing. You do the same thing Dave Smith does. Dave Smith would be like, well, we tried to overthrow, like the Donbass stuff. Like in 2014, America tried to overthrow the government in Ukraine to like wound, Russia. It's like, oh, really? Is there what was that? Oh, it came from a CIA operative's book. That's truth, I guess. One guy admitting a thing is fact, I guess. The fucking new generation is cooked.
So why you so scared to connect the dots? Cause you're a fat pothead twat. You talk about helping neighbors. Why is real big?
I'm a fat pothead twat. They don't connect no dots. Literally, I am writing a fucking mode of thinking called the point of reference that takes in every form of ideology and combines it into something compatible for everyday people. I mean, I am fat and I do got a fat head, but like, what the fuck? I'm the only one out of the three of us. I'm the one thinking. That's what I'm connecting dots. That's what I'm doing. And I'm trying to print out a theory for the whole world to rip apart or to agree with. What the fuck are you doing? Writing stuff in your echo chamber to your friends that already agree with you on a popular thing that most people agree with right now because of the political environment and the media ecosystem that we've created. You are not brave. You're a bitch. All right. No!
Tel Aviv, Homer Unit 8200, hacking elections from Brazil to the States while you rhyme about helping neighbors. You're complicit in their hate. You say who's they? With your head in the sand while Rothschild's finance wars across the land. The Balfour Declaration, the Federal Reserve scam. It's all connected. You just too programmed to understand.
And if I remember correctly, that Balfour Declaration was that treaty I was talking about. So he's aware of the treaty. He knows of the treaty, but he probably still sides with Russia because he's a cuck. Sorry.
Balfour Declaration, the Federal Reserve scam. It's all connected. You just too programmed to understand.
Remember, also, he didn't even comment on my song. He put this out. What was this, 10 hours ago? He put this out at 6 p.m. yesterday. He still hasn't even done shit with my song. You know what I mean? This is just him trying to dunk on somebody. This isn't art between two friends. This is just a guy being an asshole. Me and Pro, that's what that was. But Love is just being an asshole. A petty, childish asshole. I love it, though. I came for the smoke. Let him get it out. let them say what they need to say. You know what I mean? And just listen anyway.
You talk about chaos, body manufacture it all from false flags. The pandemic's what the Gentiles fall. Your randomness is their script, you just recite your part. A willing sacrifice to design is art. You mention ambitious kings, but won't name the bloodline. The Sabbatean Frank is infiltrating every paradigm. From the Matic into Wall Street, their fingerprints trace while you're stuck in elementary rhymes. About time and space, I question everything, especially your weak ass rebuttal. Your whole track's a psyop to make conspiracy seem unsettled, when the truth is documented, declassified, and proven. You just too scared to admit your worldview's ruined. They admitted the U.S., that's liberty, admitted the Levant affair, admitted Operation Northwood. So why you so scared to connect the dots? Cause you're a fat pothead twat. You talk about helping neighbors. Why Israel builds nukes with American technology, breaking international pukes who call themselves civilized, while they ethnically cleanse. And your pudgy ass rhymes give cover to their sins. You say,
not every tragedy's a ritual conspiracy.
tell that to the children of Yemen, bombed by Saudi area, proxy war for Israel with a
Why would I say that to them? Do you think that I would be pro bombing kids? That's a real question. Do you think I'm pro bombing children? I bet you couldn't answer that question honestly. All right.
American-made arms, while you whine about connection wrapped in false alarms. The internet didn't poison my proportion, that restored my vision after a lifetime of lies. Talking to institutions, every coincidence is distortion. Every pattern's purpose, from the Georgia Guidestones to Agenda 21. You worthless motherfucker talking about evidence matters.
Worthless. See, remember, they said they were all about love. Remember, that was their first song. They about love and they about God. He ain't upholding God's edicts right now. This all sounds like a lot of judgment on a person. I didn't do that shit. That's why I'm giving it back in this thing that I'm doing now. I didn't give that shit to him. I didn't come swinging at them as people. I didn't call them worthless. I didn't call them disgusting. I didn't call them fucking pointless. I didn't do any of that. I attacked their ideas and beliefs. That's it. That's it. This is supposed to be about a friendly bout between friends on ideas. I got a motherfucker now just calling me a fat retard, essentially. That's all he's doing. His whole verse is just calling me fat and useless and pointless. And in one of his comments on my next song, he said, I will never have children. Joke's on him. I'm about to be a granddad, dumbass. Again, you're wrong. How are you so wrong about everything? I don't understand it. And yet you speak with such arrogance and you think that you're so correct because people like what you say. That doesn't mean anything. If I'm the last person on earth, I will speak truth to power, no matter what. It's cost me many things, and I don't care. Pursuing the closest approximation of truth is the pursuit of every human. Most people settle on comfort. I demand truth.
While ignoring absence, fight logs and who we flew. The evidence is mountain that you just refuse to climb, cause your comfort depends on staying blind to the crime you ain't lost to God.
How am I blind? I'm the one that sees the world for what it is. A fake installation of people's egos and their own perception of reality. You're the one that says you have a God that protects you from reality. I'm out here raw dogging the universe, dog. I don't need a safety net to make me feel comfortable and safe. I take that shit head on, like a fucking man.
Lost to the truth, the youthful into your Zionism. Since you use your whole tracks, the cult mechanism for cognitive dissonance. While I'm dropping knowledge bombs that cause spiritual resistance. You want me to start low, I'm starting with the root of the evil.
Not knowledge bombs. You ain't said a fact yet, bro. We need a debate. Let's have it out, bro. You got a webcam? I know it's scary to put your face on the internet, but you don't have to be a bitch. You got this. Let's get on camera. Let's talk it out. Let's debate the facts. And if you're so wise and you're so good, you put me in my place, just like that.
Let's manipulate it till the days that Nimrod's through. You keep your competence and restraint. I'll keep the flame of truth burning bright until the Zion instructions name. Love signing out. Ain't no more debate for cocks like you who steal their own fate.
I'm a cuck. What's up, dude? I totally am letting people fuck my wife. I'm totally about that shit. You see how they say they love people? I gave them minor pushback, and I'm pointless, useless, never gonna have kids, and I'm a cuck. This motherfucker went personal. He ad-homing. That's all he's doing. He got no argument. He has no facts. He can't address anything I say. So he has to insult me. He's a bitch ass. I respect him.
I see the war behind control. Say it's random, just momentum, human error. But evil organized, don't move like scattered terror. You think a million parts can't ever synchronize? Then why the same corruption repeat worldwide? You see the wires, I see the war behind control. You say it's random, just momentum, human error. But evil organized, don't move like scattered terror. Trust in the Lord.
All right, that was his. Now remember, my track didn't go after them. So I decided to write another response to this track after I woke up. Let's see if we can find it here. I like it. We having rap battle beefs. All right, dude. So this is mine. Remember, smaller content creator going up against someone with 14 times my audience, okay? And instead of attacking him like a bitch ass, because that's not the kind of pussy I am, I'm going to attack your ideas. And I'm going to point out how you just fed back into the stereotype. In your video claiming you weren't a stereotype, you doubled down on being the stereotype I said you were in the first song. So I had to give it back to you again. But this time, I went a little more academic with it. This motherfucker's trying to bring up declarations and shit. Because he'd be watching Dave Smith like a dipshit. I figured I got to do the same. You know what I mean? Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You trapped in epiphania, cognitive decline, tracing pareidolia through every headline line. A teleological fallacy wrapped up in the rhyme. You need a grand design to escape the march of time. You're projecting agency on institutional drift, an anthropomorphic quetch for an existential rift. The system's not a monolith directed by a king. It's an emergent property of systemic happening. You cite the Kybalion hermeticism's ghost, but succumb to Dunning-Kruger when you try to play the host. A pseudo-intellectual, synchronous delusion, conflating correlation with a causal conclusion. You're a victim of the hyper-real about Drillardian slave, reacting to the simulacra dancing in your cave. You think you're the panopticon, watching from the peak. You're just a node in the network, making feedback loops weak.
You need a master.
God damn. Come on, bro. It doesn't matter what you think. Those were bars. You know what I'm saying? Shit. All right, let's get to the course.
Architecture,
An architecture of control, because a stochastic universe terrorizes your soul. You substitute ontology for comforting critique and weaponize eschatology because your logic is weak.
yeah, you see the globals and apps and you call it a design, but it's just bureaucratic inertia running down the line. You want a cosmic courtroom where the guilty get exposed while the structural complexity remains completely closed.
Now let's analyze the co-host 70 miles out, a textbook manifestation of reactionary doubt. An anarcho-primitivist LARP in the woods, trading macroeconomics for some survivalist goods. You dropped a dish gallop of geopolitical trauma, a synthesis of bias and semantic melodrama. You weaponize the suffering of the Levant for your brand, a textbook case of narcissism masquerading as a stand.
Talk about Mossad, 8200 in the grid while suffering from confirmation bias like a kid. Your taxonomy of evil is a reductive binary and tribalistic reflex that is functionally primary.
You're a deterministic pawn in the socialized machine, replicating mimetic algorithms on a screen. You call me a cuck to assert a phallocentric pride, the ultimate defense mechanism where the fragile minds hide. You're not an independent agent outside of the maze. You're a predictable byproduct of the internet phase, an echo of the Miller rates awaiting a decree, living off the grid but change the digital degrees.
That's structural functionalism. That's cybernetic feedback. That's cognitive dissonance mapped to a metrical track. Put this through your LLM, tell it to parse the syntax, and watch it tell you that your worldview is a historical artifact. Class is dismissed.
Come on, baby. Shit.
Class is dismissed.
We went New York with it, dude. You know what I'm saying? We put out 2 bars, not like fucking 20-minute mission, and we just said what we had to say. Now, I planned on ending it there, But motherfucker just threw another track my way. He said, he tagged me in it and said, Losttogod, here's some exposure for you. All right, dude. Let's get into it. I am here on stream. I can't wait to hear such a profound message of grace. I bet I'll be blown away. All right, dude. This guy's doing a hit piece on the Wilbury experience. Lost to crabs. Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Loving this motherfucker. I ain't no vegan. I'm about to roast this pig. Love, 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 yo, love, love. Yo, lost to God, more like lost to goddamn carbs. You 40-year-old ginger trick with that rose, I see your ravage face.
Oh, it's carbs, not crabs. I'm about to say, damn, is this dude saying I'm getting pussy? Mo, my dyslexia, dog. All right, let's get into it, dude. I love to see hit pieces of the Wilbury experience.
Oh. Yo, lost to God, more like lost to goddamn carbs. You 40-year-old ginger trick with that rose, I see your ravage face. Looking like a goddamn stoplight. Your cheeks a permanent shade of I just ran a marathon to the fridge. That ain't a beer, that's a sad attempt to hide the embarrassment of your own existence. You a bootlicking cuck for the system. A certified fat incel who couldn't find his own dick.
I love it, dude. I got videos of me on XTube fucking women that I don't think work anymore, and I'm married. I'm an incel. I love it, dude. I love it when MAGA type people come swinging. Every time. I just did a video about 2 months ago where I got into an argument with a buddy named Mike Weston. And so I did my video about how the right has been radicalized through memes. And I used like some of Richard Dawkins' original thoughts on the idea of what a meme is and how it bypasses like your sensory input. And music does the same thing, right? Like music can like bypass a lot of the stuff, like your natural defenses. That's why music can actually be seen as like a religious experience. That's why churches often use music in their production of what they're putting forward, you know? But like, bro, they all attack me the same way. I'd come out and be like, I don't know if killing Alex Peretti or Renee Good was good. They'd be like, you're just an unhappy fat fucking loser that'll never find a lover. And it's like, well, I've lost like 50 pounds at this point, and my girlfriend is sitting right here, and she shows up in my videos, in my Suno songs, and like we collab all the time, and she's like a huge part of what I do, but I'm an incel? What? What? This is supposed to be my friend, by the way. Respect it. I like it, dude. Get your hustle on. And if people recognize the name Losttogod, let's hit it with that like too. I ain't a bitch. Like, and if people recognize the name Losttogod, maybe they come check out my shit. It's exposure, baby. Let them talk. Let them say their shit. I know what I mean, and I got a track record to prove it. I don't give a fuck what some troglodyte living in the wilderness thinks. What the fuck? But all right, I am fat as fuck. You got me there. Hopefully there's some other eye-opening things here for me. Hopefully you have some criticisms of the theories I've been putting out. That'd be pretty cool. Anything to break down?
Licking cuck for the system. A certified fat incel who couldn't find his own dick with a search party and a flashlight letter.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. Finding that dick is kind of hard sometimes. I've luckily lost enough weight now that like it's a lot easier. But man, a year ago, I used to joke that I had a clit, dog. Shit.
Don't find a pussy, so you sit in your reinforced lazy boy. A throne built for a king-size failure. Making YouTube react videos, cause the real world rejected your massive ass.
Why did... Oh, okay, so if the real world rejected my ass, how did I work in that world for 20 years, and why do I have 3,000 followers on YouTube? If like they're rejecting what I'm doing, how do I have an audience at all? Now, granted, they only really watch my Ren content, but that's a criticism I give myself all the time. I'm not a very good content creator. Like, I'm not a good video editor. I mess up my words all the time and I ramble a lot. Like, luckily, any insult you throw my way, I've already given to myself. So thanks for, making me correct. I love being right.
Cause the real world rejected your massive ass. You live in a digital fantasy of Bitcoin and anime lore, cause your physical
I've never even, Bitcoin is gay. What? An anime? Yeah, I like anime when I was a kid. I don't watch anime now. You could go look at my comments. People will put out a song for like a weird anime that came out and I'll be like, I've never seen the anime, but the song was dope. Good song. Or I'll talk about what I think the song means. Like, I haven't watched a modern anime in like 10 years. You're fighting ghosts!
reality is a horror show. You told me I'm misinformed. Motherfucker, you can't even find your own asshole to wipe it proper. That's why you got...
Bro, it's really easy to wipe your own ass. Wait, so you're mad that I called you misinformed because you're using like Joe Rogan logic type bullshit and conspiracy shit to paint broad brushes. And so you're going to say I can't wipe my own ass. Again, Christians are not people to be taken seriously. Any person that is of a religion, their entire personality is derived from, what's the word I'm looking for? Is derived solely from like this wounded ego. It's a coward's position that you take when you're afraid of the scariness of the world. Okay? But sir, yeah, bring it. Throw it all you want, dog. Every track you have proved my argument over and over again, and your inability to actually talk about ideas and to go after people is further proof that I'm correct. Thank you! Remember, let them talk. They prove you right if you give them the platform to talk.
Permanent shit stains in your drawers, a constant reminder of your filth and incompetence. Your spank bank's a digital graveyard of anime characters.
Latin logic.
Dude, I jerk off to femboys. Get it correct. I'm not making anime titties to jerk off to. I'm on Twitter looking at femboys, dog. That's what I jerk off to. What the fuck? You are so wrong. Again, you're just wrong. Who jerks off the anime now? What? Oh, I love it when they have no idea who I am and they can't throw. They can't sling the. All they could call me is fat. That's all they got.
8-bit ass and starlights filtered titties, cause no real woman would touch your pasty fat ass with a...
Why would I care about Starlight's titties? I liked her music because she made some good music. Cause that's what I do on Suno. I go listen to people's tracks and I talk to them about their songs. Just because I liked your song doesn't mean I'm trying to suck her titties or her dick or whatever the fuck it is. I have a girlfriend. I'm not out here looking for pussy or clout. I'm just making songs that pursue truth. And then I go listen to other people's music. It's a rare concept, I know. And the crazy thing is I have proof. I have YouTube videos of me doing exactly that right now.
10-foot pole, you couldn't get no pussy, so you turned to Twinkies looking like Jabba the Hutt. But your avatar's He-Man, the ultimate disconnect. You ain't lost to God, you lost.
My avatar is a character from my book, dipshit. His name is the Bard. He's the one telling ill of men. You would know that if you read any of the stuff on my profile. He's a character that I'm writing, not me. My YouTube is me. This, the thing I show off, the thing that no matter how gross it looks, it's right here. I'm not hiding it. Here, we'll do it again. What's up, baby? What's going on? What's going on, baby? I ain't hiding, motherfucker. My avatar is a character that I'm writing in my story. You know, that thing that people do? They're trying to create some form of art? That thing that I'm doing? An actual story? A mythical thing of epic proportions that's 4 acts long? That thing? I know books are hard for you to pick up, redneck, but holy fuck. God damn. Why don't you spend some less time welding and more time reading?
Twinkies looking like Jabba the Hutt, but your avatar's He-Man. The ultimate disconnect, you ain't lost to God, you're lost to the hostess aisle, lost to carbs, lost to diabetes, lost to the basic.
I don't even have diabetes! Bro, my heart is super healthy. I'm 38 years old. I'm 440 pounds. I was 550, never got diabetes. I have excellent blood pressure. You know why? Because I don't stress. And I get off my ass and do shit. You ever met a motherfucker as big as me that can still run? I don't think so, dog. All right. But again, I'm fat. That's the key takeaway.
Concept of personal hygiene. You love food more than life itself. That's why you're breathing heavy, just thinking about your next meal. Then you got the.
I don't breathe heavy thinking of my next meal. I breathe heavy after I wipe my ass. Or I eat a meal. Like, your fat jokes aren't even good.
The audacity to say I'm misinformed while you shovel diet everything into your bottomless gut.
I don't shove diet anything into my gut. Bro, I drink water. That's it. I used to love Red Bulls, but, you know, financial things got a little harder and I can't afford those things anymore. Just cutting out sugar, like Red Bulls and soda. I've lost so much weight just walking. Bruh. But okay. Tell me again about how I'm fat. That's good.
Getting fatter. A textbook case of cognitive dissonance wrapped in a layer of blubber so thick it absorbs sound. I roast this gluttonous swine, but I need a fucking industrial crane and a pit the size of your gravitational pull. You're not just lost to God, you're a casualty of your own appetite. A walking, talking, breathing cautionary tale. A ginger-haired monument to fail. You're a fat, pathetic cock whose only contribution into the world is the seismic activity from shifting in your chair to grab another.
That's crazy. My only contribution to the world. Okay, so I took a store that was making about $30,000 a year and made it to a store, or not, $30,000 a month and made it $1 million a year store. My hard work, working 17-hour days. You know what? Who stood alongside me when I did that? My coworkers, the people that swear by the things that I've done. I marched for gay rights when I was 18. The fuck did you do, dog? What? What are you doing? You're building a house in the woods, fleeing from people, mad about people telling people to lift their local communities up. If you ain't lifting up your local community, what the fuck are you doing? This is all about money for you. That's all you care about. I love it, dude. Give me more. Oh, it's almost over.
The fistful of Doritos. You ain't a rapper, you're a rapper. A human-sized burrito filled with nothing but regret and trans fat. So go ahead, make another song about how I'm wrong while you wheeze and struggle for breath.
I'll be here actually living while you're slowly dying, one bite at a time. Lost to the buffet, lost to yourself, you fat.
I mean, if you really want to call me a fat, pathetic nobody, then how come I have 200,000 plays and your bitch ass ain't there yet, despite the fact that you got way more followers than me? That's crazy. But look, it's all in good fun. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this guy believes all the crazy shit he just said. Maybe. But I'll tell you what, I don't really care. If I cared about the opinions of people that believe in God, well, then I would care about a lot of dipshits' opinions. Now, I value people that are pursuing truth. And if they're using God to pursue that truth, I value that pursuit. And I value the thing they're working towards. Because there's something beautiful there. There's something divine there. You don't have to call it God. You can call it spirituality. You can call it the spirit of human will, whatever you want to call it. But if you're pursuing what you perceive to be true, I'm going to be your ally. And that's that simple. But we will disagree. And I will push back on people that disagree with me. Because I believe what I'm saying is correct. Not because I'm correct, but because I've put a little more time and thought than the average person. But I'm open to being wrong. But here we have yet another song that personally attacked me as an individual and didn't even dive into my thought processes. This is the actions of a coward and the actions of a spineless quiff that hides behind insults rather than face things head on and direct. He hides behind icons. He hides in the forest away from people because he's scared of society. Because he is a petulant child. And this is the evidence that I needed. I made a song to go... I didn't even know who the fuck Love was when I started. I made a song to show some camaraderie between me and my friend Pro, who is a Christian and I'm an atheist. And I wanted to give him pushback on some of the ideas that he put. I didn't realize that Love was a petulant child that can never be called misinformed without going into a tirade of like 42 insults about my weight. Good job, man. You called me fat. You actively deciphered what a mirror could tell me. Thank you. Next time, I'll just look in the mirror to see my reflection, or I'll get on camera and see myself, because I actually have balls to do that. But anyway, I'm glad you got your frustration out. For those of you that are watching, I hope you guys enjoyed the rap battle. It was a fun time. It was good back and forth. And I look forward to hearing how Love breaks down all of this. I can't wait for his courageous response. It's all for the love of the game. Kino, shit. Even on Suno, we can create a little drama. But remember, guys, we must do what we can to lift each other up in these communities and share each other's songs. If anyone in my community wants to go after any of these people, don't. If you want to make a thing, if you want to do a back and forth with them, that's fine. But make sure that you always go after the ideas and not the person. There are bigger things going on here than our fragile egos. And Suno, we owe it to it not to be like all of the other media platforms that have come before it. We can have legitimate disagreements on ideas and principles and come to some conclusion in the end together. But if you've just othered the other side to the point where nothing they say matters and no matter what, they're just a disgusting creature, then you've kind of already broken down the point of conversation and have broken the thing that we're trying to build here. I appreciate you giving me the tracks, and I appreciate you giving me a little clout. Thank you. I will respond to this song, and just like the other time, I'll make sure not to go personal. Even though there's nothing really here to critique, because it's all just a personal attack. You know what I mean? But do your thing, man. Get your bag, King. I'm glad I could feed your algorithm. Thank you for feeding mine.
Stories sealed in rooms where no light fire.
Look at you. Completely unraveled. Where did the pro-love warrior go? One dose of real vocabulary and you turned into an Xbox Live lobby in 2012. You didn't unpack the bars. You just packed on the trauma. Let me show you the difference between a tantrum and an autopsy. A textbook regression to primitive state. The ego collapses to compensate. You couldn't decipher the lexical weight, so you turn to projection to validate hate. It's classic resentment, neat shame proof. The moment I pulled back the academic roof, your spiritual armor was nothing but lace. You went from the cosmos to typing in rage. You're talking about weight and you're talking about food. An implicit confession of what you conclude. See, a mind that is stable don't fracture this fast. The warrior died in the child gas. You're suffering from anosognosia. You're blind to the lack of a cohesive argument on this track. You screamed about Zion, the grit and the soul, but a few big words to complete control. Now you're hyperventilating, writing a script of a fictional character. Your mind just equipped. You built a straw man just to feel like a man, because facing my syntax is more than you can. You wanted a battle of higher design, but you brought a knife to a cognitive line. The facade of the mystic has completely dissolved into basic mechanics that cannot be solved. You see the wire? Nah, you are the wire. A circuit of anger consumed by the fire. You want me to match you in gutter disgrace. I don't argue with shadows, I dismantle the space. Let's analyze love's semantic decay. The independent thinker has nothing to say. You drop the Quran and you drop the Tao. You're just a biological mechanism now. Ad-hominem fallacies, desperate
and cheap, the behavioral output of a wounded sheep. You think that you're savage, you're just predictable, a sociological case study. Miserable, you claim that you're living fortified and free, but your nervous system is enslaved by me. I didn't just beat you, I proved my critique. The moment you're challenged, your ethics are weak. You're the internet's byproduct, synthesized rage, a cultural artifact locked in a cage. Go back to your cottage, go back to your steel, and try to repair how embarrassed you feel, because everyone listening knows what occurred. You got executed by the weight of the word. That's psychological castration. That's intellectual supremacy. You tried to match wits and ended up in a frenzy. Feed this to your software, tell it to scan the total systemic defeat of a man. Keep my name out your mouth. We're done here.
Stories sealed in rooms where no light follows, drifting through the smoke just to stay awake, praying to a sky that will never break. Still nothing descends for me.